Hello, my name is Margaret Adele, and welcome to another indie book review. This one's gonna be thankfully short because I've been putting out so many long videos recently. So today I am reviewing Matriarch by Adam Wing. This is the second story I have reviewed from this author. However, it was the one he wrote first. I originally reviewed Icarus, very much enjoyed it, would very much recommend, and obviously when he said, hey, do you want to read more of my work? I was like, yes, please. This one is very short. It is like less than 60 pages, at least the PDF I had of it was, and there are some giant plot twists that I really don't want to spoil, so there's not a lot of the story that I can actually talk about, but this is all about a woman, an elderly woman on her deathbed, telling her great-granddaughter the story of their, what they call greatest granddad, or her husband. And when I first saw the synopsis and all about the man's trek through Turkey and meeting her and the family and all that, I was like, okay, so pretty standard family saga type short story. Maybe some nice happy feels. It is not that. And the problem is that I can't get into all the ways it is not that without gigantic spoilers. But right off the bat, there's a lot of fantasy or supernatural elements, depending on how you want to categorize that do feel like they fit in. It's a little bit of a surprise, but it doesn't feel like a sharp left turn. It does kind of fit in with the locale and the whole gist of the story. And the later left turns and plot twists were pretty big and pretty intense and really changed the entire vibe of the story in really interesting ways. Now, when I reviewed Icarus, there was this moment, and I discussed it, where it felt like the book was suddenly a horror story for like 30 or so pages. There was this scene that I just felt like pure horror, and it has another element like that in this story, where there's basically near the end almost a horror element that you weren't expecting, and an ending that ended in like the perfect place. And it's definitely a story where if you were just looking at it from the synopsis and from the marketing, you'd think, oh, okay, kind of cutesy story, but it is not. If you are expecting a lighthearted, purely fluffy family generational saga, this is not it. But if you also are looking at this story and you wanted to write it off like that, I would give it a go anyways. Like I said, it's only 60 pages or less depending on the format you're using, so it's a really quick read, and there's a really delightful sudden left turn. I was pleasantly surprised because at first, when we were talking about an English soldier in Turkey after the War for Independence, and he's like in love with the country and all that kind of stuff, I was really nervous that we were going to pull some like white saviorism nonsense, and it doesn't. The character for me started off as likable and then turned interesting. That is to say, he was no longer likable to me by the end, but the crux of the story post the plot twist was meaty and was complex, and it was fun to read about, even if I didn't like him or the solution he came up to that complex issue. That was not a good solution, but he was interesting. So this is definitely going to be a story where you need to, like the interesting parts. It is told non-linearly. There are moments where the story jumps back to the framing device of the grandmother and the granddaughter, and that does come into play. It's not just a framing device. It low-key, like, kind of Forrest Gumps it, where the framing device then comes in clutch at the end, if you want to say. And I really enjoyed it. I really liked the ending. I really liked the surprise horror elements, which I really want to read another one of Adam Wing's work now and be like, is this just a thing in every book he does? There's always this section where it's suddenly horror, which honestly, as like a kind of like author mark or author characteristic, could kind of be fun. But regardless, this is a short review, but I am still open to review requests. I don't know exactly how many spots I have left open. I tend to hover around 10 or 11-ish spots, and in December has me distracted in a couple different ways, but I'm hoping to remain open. So if you are an indie author and you would like a book review, please send me an email. I will have my email down in the description below. I will also have my review policy down there. Please give that a quick read through. It answers a lot of questions and saves us a lot of time. And with nothing else to say, I hope you have a wonderful day and a marvelous tomorrow.